Good afternoon, folks. Well, the day has come when the Chinese have gone for ultra-luxury. We've already seen the Yangwang U8, but that is an all-terrain vehicle that was originally designed for extreme off-roading. But people like me and a few others use it in the city for various purposes. For example, I use it because I simply want to transport my family in a safer, more robust capsule. That's it. But the U8 is not a car of that level. There is the Yangwang U7, which is new. But, as it turned out from the suspension settings, acceleration, braking, and the crazy moose test, this car is a sports car. In other words, they followed the Panamera in that direction. There is the Neo ET9, which is the same length, but it is a semi-crossover, and it is cheaper. It does not have such expensive interior materials, and there are slightly fewer luxury technologies inside. So this will be the first car of such a level with such ultra-luxurious interior finishes, designed to transport smoothly from skyscraper to skyscraper. So sit back comfortably, brew yourself something delicious, and let's fly. The car is available in two versions, electric and hybrid. Top hybrid accelerates in 4.7 seconds. 863 horses from 3 electric motors, plus 1.5 turbo generator with 170 horses. This is a sequential hybrid, where the engine does not push the car. The 5-seater version without extras costs $109,000, and the 4-seater with all extras costs $155,000. The electric version accelerates slightly faster, 4.3 seconds. It has a complex electromagnetic suspension with double air suspension. Today, I will show you two versions, a 4-seater and a 5-seater, where the sofa is at the back. And I came to another city specifically for the 5-seater version, for this particular car that I am standing next to it now. So now we'll quickly take a look at the 5-seater, and then we'll go back to Shenzhen to look at the 4-seater. 3 ways to open the door. Either the automatic door, or, if I want to open it with my hand, I just insert my hand. There's a sensor. We've seen this before. There's no need to press anything. I just continue to open it with my hand. The third way is with a gesture, without touching the door at all. This car is in exhibition mode. Unfortunately, it cannot be turned off, and this gesture doesn't work. But I'll show you how it works on the M9. Few seconds, and the door opens. This feature works not only in the M9, but also in the new M8 and Huawei Maextro. We all know that in new cars, you can move the car forward and backward using a smartphone or remote control. These guys took it a step further. With a Huawei watch on your wrist, you can move the car with a hand gesture. Opening the door is even easier with the watch. This is exhibition mode, so the turquoise light is on here. But in real use, it turns on when the autopilot is activated. When the autopilot is in operation, not only the front part but also the rear part glows turquoise. This is a projector, and it can project different images onto the floor. Smart headlights function with LiDAR, knowing when and how to shine and in which direction. There are a bunch of rhinestones inside. If desired, they can be turned on all the time. There are also rhinestones on all the handles. I don't like rhinestones. They're just not my taste at all. It immediately reminded me of that BMW 7 I took for a test. And it's garland on the dashboard. Well, some people might like it, but it's just not for me. It looks impressive, I agree, but it's not for me. The rear wheels steer at 12 degrees. Look how quickly the car door responds. Press it, and it opens immediately. This is a hybrid version, and Cuddle gave them the latest battery development specifically for hybrid vehicles. Unreal 65 kilowatt-hours 6C. This is a hybrid, I remind you. This battery will give this car 400 kilometers CLTC. Can you imagine? It's a record for today, on a single charge. If I want to open it, I press here. If I want to close it, there's a button. There is a 50-liter tank. The first Huawei that I would actually buy for myself. I'm starting to think about it. By the way, for those who like to change the airflow strength manually, it has been moved here. As you can see, the airflow strength changes on the screen. The screen is simply outstanding. The chip is top-notch. You have seen all these screens. I recently reviewed the M8. It is absolutely the same. Finishing materials. Well, these are probably the best finishing materials in the entire Chinese automotive industry. That is, they are slightly better than those used in Yangwang in some places. For example, Yanwan has an Alcantara ceiling, while here the ceiling is leather. Only these parts are made of Alcantara. Let us check for squeaks. In M8 I forgot to do it, and people started asking, where is the squeak check? Let's start with the screens. Well, there was a little something, but it's gone. Here. Even though it's wood. And what if I press it? No, they installed it well. Wow. It always squeaks for everyone because it's difficult to install properly. What about the cup holder? Ah, right here inside. There's just plastic near the cup holders. By the way, these cup holders can heat your drinks. And not only to heat, but also to cool. Wood, 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 crystal. These are the driving modes we switch. Oh, how awesomely it runs. Cool. Try it and you'll understand what I mean. It's very difficult to explain. It's like a magnetic mechanism in there, switching quite tightly. 2 spots for wireless charging with ventilation are also covered in leather. Everything here is entirely leather. Even the lower parts are leather. These 2 parts can be displays if we choose cameras instead of side mirrors. Here are 2 active buttons that control the shades of the first and second rows. Okay, you can change the color from cool to warm, increase or decrease the brightness. Here it's clear. It's double on the left and on the right. Microphones, SOS button. Camera on the bumper. The display broadcasts here. And we have a camera located there. You already saw the same thing in the M8. It just pops out if I turn on the internal camera. Why did they venture into such an expensive segment? Everything has changed drastically in China, and faster than I expected. Just lightning fast. Now German cars are dropping in price. They offer big discounts on them. They are forced to sell them cheaper. And it is precisely because they are falling in price that they are losing their status. Not only are they technologically behind, but they are also beginning to lose their status because they are cheaper. For a Chinese person, Huawei is now a higher status than BMW, for example. A person comes to buy a BMW X5 or a Huawei M9 and they buy the M9 3 times more, even though they now cost the same. So they looked into what was happening. And why not? If that's the trend, let's keep going. The lateral support here adjusts according to the rolling. I can also set it to tighten or loosen. I sat down in a comfortable position. I have 4 fingers here. Someone taller than me would also fit here. The seat is fully extended, and the cushion is long. Leather, leather. Everything is completely leather, here and here, except for the metal here. There is a box. It is a camera which can be closed. The emblem on all HEMA models has the same shape, but different models are inscribed inside. There's Maextro, Stellato, Eta, Luxeed, and so on. 2-tone steering wheel, fully leather covered. By the way, adjustments on the tablet. The gear selector switch is here. The steering wheel is chunky. I like the steering wheel. 2,800 kilograms of curb weight, double glazing. Here with such mirrors it writes Maextro, but there might be cameras, and then there will be displays here. From top to bottom, Napa leather. There is a box. The inside is lined as well. Well assembled. 43 speakers, crazy. The best music they have, Huawei sound. As you can see, I have a huge armrest. What's here? Everything here is covered, and there are 2 charging ports. There are 2 spots for wireless phone charging with ventilation. The design does not appear to be very reliable, it is slightly unstable. Listen, it's really good. Even in the 5-seater version, it's very good. So, look, when I press here, the following happens. The shade on the ceiling closes, the shades on the 2 windows close, and the rear window shade also closes. Look what's happening. I'm running my hand over it. It darkened. The other glass works exactly the same way.
小易，小易，后排你好，大概天幕。
What do I have in the 5-seater version? I have a large projector screen that comes down from the ceiling, which is the main feature. If I don't want to use it, I have two Huawei screens that can be inserted here. If you want, you can have both. I also have a box. And the 5-seater version has a refrigerator in the back. Everything behind the seats is covered, and it's all leather. Unfortunately, I don't have a Huawei phone or watch. A girl approaches the car. With a watch on her wrist, she makes a gesture with her fingers. The door opens. With the watch, she can close the door with a gesture. She has a foldable Huawei. She leans it against the main screen, and the navigation transfers there. She can also cast a video playing on it to the screen. She can also cast it onto the projector screen. And now she received a call. She holds the phone up to the door card. And the conversation is transmitted to the car's speaker and the microphone on the ceiling. Look at this feature. If we're talking with a partner and don't want the driver to hear us, we can make it so that the sound is directed to the headrest, both here and in the driver's headrest. Speakers are built in here and in the headrest as well. It started making so much noise that he simply couldn't hear what we were talking about. So, these two headrests, as soon as we start talking, there are sensors and detectors that understand this, start to distort our sound, make it mixed, incomprehensible, and transmit it here. So the driver simply does not understand what the conversation is about. As soon as we stop talking, the sound stops here too. This feature is activated here with a button. The huge panorama that extends beyond my head and the view of the skyscrapers here will certainly be breathtaking for the owner of this car. Leather. The ceiling is entirely leather. A headrest that moves. A backrest that can be adjusted. I can adjust the seat forward and backward. A wide ottoman that can be raised and lowered. I can move the front seat forward. Leather pillar and metal threshold. Leather. Here is a piece of wood. I have a box at the back on the right. Here too, everything is completely covered with Napa leather from top to bottom, even inside. Wood. Seat adjustment with crystal-shaped buttons. I don't like rhinestones and I don't like crystal. The same as in a BMW 7 Series. Not my thing. This is how we can pull out a small smartphone. At the rear, on the left, there is the same device. Here, I can fully control the entire vehicle. By the way, the massage is now on. The seat, footrests, buttocks, and backrest. You can adjust the intensity of the massage. Well, basically, it's like this. It is inserted back like this. There is a zero-gravity seat here. All right, we wait. I am moving forward. In this car, you can sleep easily and comfortably in this position. It is one of the best zero-gravity positions. It won't work here because the driver is in front, but you can sleep here. What else do we have? Press the button and everything goes back. Look, unlike the M8, it comes back. I don't have to reach for it. And unlike the M8, I have a button to close the door right within arm's reach. There is massage ventilation and heating in the front and rear. Massage for the backrest, seat, and footrest. Heating for the armrests, backrest, seat, and ottoman. Ventilation for the seat and backrest. Mirror. No extra features, just a mirror. And on the left too. 5-seater versions. The interior materials are the same as in the 4-seater, just a little simpler. As a gift, they promise this fashionable rug, both front and back. Of this thickness. What do we have here? We have a box for driver. These are the standard 20-inch wheels, 265 by 45. The top ones are 21-inch. This is what they look like. The rear wheels are of the same size. The brakes are disc, ventilated all around. Let's take a look in the trunk. 445 liters. Oh, there's good material here too. Well, that's how it should be for this price. Alright, so, now let's go check out the 4-seater version. Maextro is the third and last car I will compare with the BMW 7 Series, after which I will sell it. As you can see, I am riding in the back. I have been riding in the back for 3 days now. I am being driven around so that I can give the most objective assessment possible, since the Maextro is the kind of car that people who ride in the back with a driver are most likely to buy. That's why I ride in the back to make a quality comparison. We don't yet know how the Maextro drives, but let's make a verdict on the interior comparison. First, this car is not as soft in the back as it is in the front, the 7. The S-Class is softer at the back, but we still don't know what the Maextro is like. Moving on, regarding the interior, meaning the cabin finish and equipment. This is the Avatar 1-2 level, so it's 2 classes lower than the Huawei Maextro, even though they are priced the same. There are automatic doors, massage, ceiling screen. This is the Avatar 1-2 for $50,000. It is not the Huawei M9, which is a class above, nor the Maextro, which is 2 classes higher. And you know, if I were talking about Mercedes, to be honest, I might even get a little pleasure out of it. Yes, I do. I love to troll. But here I feel upset. How can this be? BMW for one price, and this is the most prestigious class in the lineup. How can it be 2 classes lower than the Maextro for the same price? It's absurd. Simply absurd. Yes, I got this car at the price of an L Ultra because it was a test drive model. It had a slight dent in the door, or rather, it was slightly scratched, which was repaired. It was patched up, so there's basically no issue with the L9 price. Okay, no questions here. The soundproofing is quite adequate. I would even say very good compared to other cars. It may not be soft at the back like an S, but it's soft at the front. And generally speaking, in terms of equipment, it's at the Avatar 1-2 level or gilevich.eng L9 level. The only real issue here is that the electronics occasionally glitch. If Hi-Fi Z was considered an unrefined premium Chinese product, but compared to this car, Hi-Fi Z worked almost without any problems, because there weren't nearly as many problems there. Something was glitching somewhere sometimes. Different people have different experiences, but there was never as much glitching as there is here. Here, the steering wheel sometimes does not lower, the projector does not turn on, and the door opens into the pillar every other time. Recently, my rear light didn't turn off, so I had to lock and unlock it to get it to turn off. I mean, it's not normal for the software to glitch like this at this price. Plus, it's like a Tamagotchi system. Overall, there are some questions regarding the electronics. However, the soundproofing is better than in the Avatar 1-2 and better than in the gilevich.eng L9. Therefore, overall, it balances out in terms of price, but only for this price, at the price of the Li 9. How can they sell this at the price of a Maextro? I just don't understand. I simply don't get it. It's absurd. I'll say it again. I don't take any pleasure in saying this. I genuinely feel sorry for BMW. All right, anyway. We already halfway to Shenzhen. I will soon show you the 4-seater version. Wow. There are many more people in Shenzhen than in that small town. Here is a 4-seater version. Now we'll try to get in. By the way, it also has 20-inch wheels, 265 by 45, but with a different design. By the way, this canvas screen can also be taken as an option in the 5-seater version. But here, look, it's sealed on the sides. And this part lifts up, which seems to separate me from the first row of seats. The ceiling here is also leather, but there is a starry sky. This is a secret box. If it opened with just a button in the 5-seater, here there is a fingerprint scanner. A stranger won't just open it. The picture is awesome. If we close everything, it will be perfect. We can't close it, then it won't be visible. The cameraman is standing outside. Let's move on. If desired, there's just a small mirror here. Or a full-fledged table, which is like this. That's all. Unlike the Yanvan U7, I can rise and move forward. The table will be closer to me. Overall, regarding the seating, if you overlook the tables, there is no difference between the 5-seater version and the other versions. There are 2 spots for wireless phone charging. Everything is upholstered in leather. Well, overall, there's not much of a difference. And here the ottomans are softer than there. You see, they're quite airy here. All right, that's all. Thank you for your attention. Take care. See you soon.